I think some parents of typical students might be concerned that here at the Rise School, our focus is only children with disabilities. So I have a little story about that, because I think what we need to remember is that our educators, yes, they are special educators, but they also believe in meeting every child where they are. They are teachers first, and they want to teach every child. So my typical daughter was here when she was 4 and 5 years old. And one day I walked in at nap time, and because she was no longer napping, one of the teachers had her at a whiteboard and was teaching her to add 3-digit numbers. My child was 5. But that teacher knew that she was ready for that skill, and they didn't want to waste a minute. They wanted to be teaching her all the time and meeting her needs. And to me, that's what Rise is about for our typicals.
Do you know how to make a hypothesis, come up with an experiment, and draw a conclusion? Do you know what's inside of owl poop? Do you know how long it takes to watch a pumpkin decompose? Well, your kids do. Science experiments within our classroom allow us the opportunity to present children with really big concepts in really understandable ways and give them that base knowledge and that base language that's going to help them as they continue on throughout their educational journey. It's going to give them access to words that are really big. It's going to give them access to concepts that are really big, and it's going to help them draw on understanding how things can take a long time, working on those patient skills and those social emotional skills, also working on their memory skills. As we do some of these science experiments that take a little longer, as we watch our pumpkin decompose, and we're having to learn that some things don't happen quickly, as we're talking about hypotheses and we're having to come up with what do we think will happen, what's our science guess. These kids are learning really important things, really important concepts, really important language that's going to follow them all throughout their educational journey and really set them up on a journey of success.
No. Hi, my name is Amanda Kreshover. Menominee has asked me, as a parent of typical children who go to the Rise School, to talk a little bit about why I send my kids to the Rise School. Just a little bit about my family. My oldest is 7, he'll be 8 this month, and his name is Theo. He has Down syndrome, and he is the reason we found the Rise School of Houston. When he was born, we toured the school and knew instantly that he had to go there. We had to be part of the Rise family. And then shortly after he enrolled in 2017, he was there for a year before we had my daughter, Margot, who is typically developing. And she started at the Rise School. She was very little. She was 4 months old when she first started the Rise School. And she never left. She graduated. She moved all the way up through Purple Room. And then Eloise was born in 2021, and she was also very small when she started in Pink Room with Miss Margaret. I want to say she was 5 or 6 months old. She was pretty little too. When they were born, when we talked about where we would send our girls, there was never any doubt that they were going to go to the Rise School. First and foremost, every single person who is at the Rise School makes it their mission to make sure your child has the best experience at school that they can possibly have. Every single person at the school knows who each of those students at the Rise School are. They know their favorite colors and their likes and the whole family, their family vacations, what they do on their breaks. They're just so invested in each child, both because they want them to succeed and because they just genuinely like our children, which is a good feeling. When we were picking schools for the girls, we knew that we wanted to send the kids somewhere that didn't just say they believed in inclusion, but actually practiced that. We wanted the girls surrounded by people who are not all the same as them, that learn differently, so that it was just normal to them, that you used all your senses to learn, and everyone had different tools that helped them be successful in their educational journey. And Rise delivered that, whether there's physical ways that they help the students achieve walking goals, gross motor goals, or whether they're using different sensory tools to help the students learn, or just traditionally, teaching them lessons. The way that Rise incorporates all these different teaching methods throughout the day was just incredible and has been so good for our girls. We really liked that not only do they have inclusion as, from a student perspective, but also from a teacher perspective. We loved when we came in for one of our early tours and Blakely was there volunteering. Molly, seeing individuals that have different disabilities actively participating in Rise as valued members of the staff was really important to us. And we think that really helps, or has helped shape our girls' understanding of what kind of value everyone has in the world. We really like the student-teacher ratio. You don't find that anywhere else. There's enough teachers that the toddlers are able to have all of their feelings and still get support through those feelings, because the teachers aren't worried about 22 other kids running around. They really have the time to get to know each of our kids, help them through whatever difficulty they may be having that day. Let them feel their feelings and support them through that. And that was really important to us. Margot was 4 months old the first day I dropped her off, and I never had a doubt in my mind that Miss Margaret was holding her if she was sad, or feeding her, or whatever it was she would need, that there were enough people there to actually provide support for each of the kids. Finally, the philosophy on education at Rise is amazing, and it's the reason that we have kept our kids going, Margot all the way through Purple. They meet the children where they are. They see what they're doing now, and then they work forward to the next step, the next progression that they can make. They don't work off a checklist of where they should be at. They just say, hey, here's what you're doing, here's what's next in line. let's just work towards that goal, and we get there when we get there, and then we'll go to the next thing. And that philosophy, it worked out so good. My middle daughter left Rise reading, and not because there was some checklist that said, hey, 4-year-olds need to start reading now. It was because that's where Margot was, and the teachers there, Joe and Menominee, said, oh, hey, here's what's next in general development. Let's move her forward. Let's work on this next step. And she thrived there. And we're seeing the same with Eloise as well. So, we're there because the education could not be better, and there are not other teachers out there that could possibly love our kids more than the Rise teachers do. And we are not looking forward to eventually having to leave the Rise family. We have been there for, I don't know, it's 7 years. But yeah, we love the Rise School, and we know that you will too.